Welcome to the Roar of the Lions UK podcast, and first in our editions of special reviews of our rookies. So first up, we've got Jermar Jefferson, and later on this afternoon, we're going to have Derek Barnes. Going to be followed next week by Amon Ra and Ife Melifonwu. Then the week after, we've got McNeil and Levi, and finishing off on his own, Penny Sewell. Thank you so much for joining us if you're here. Just to start, I've been having significant internet problems if you follow the podcast over the last month, so fingers crossed that doesn't reoccur. And Ant has his own problems as well, which normally aren't an issue if it's me streaming, but obviously the screen that's up, he's actually sharing that. So if things go a little bit haywire, just bear with us for 30 seconds and we should be able to sort it out. Just to let you know where we've got the footage from, I actually subscribe to something called Caddy's Cut-Ups, which is a fantastic resource. You can find them at patreon.com/Caddy's Cut-Ups. They've got a variety of subscriptions that you can go to, so that's between £1 and £15.50 a month. For your £1 a month, you get cut-ups, which you will see an example of in this video, of the 2020, 21 and 22 plus college prospects. You'll see how they're all cut up, but some of them, they're the prospect only where they make an impact on the play. Some of them, they're the entire game, but they just point out exactly where the prospect is. The majority of them show down and distance and the time in the game as well, so it's quite a useful in-depth feature to find out about what the game situation might be. It gives additional context to what you're seeing. As you go up those pay scales, you can actually make video requests for a specific player. So if you've seen someone in a college game that you're intrigued in, then you can perhaps request a video for that person in a previous game, and they'll put that up on there. £15.50 will get you 5 video requests a week with no limit per month. They've got 630 patrons, so you know it's a good part-time job that someone's got going there, and it's a terrific resource. The other place that we've gone to is YouTube for some highlights if Caddy's Cut-Ups haven't quite got the footage that we're looking for. So without further ado, this is going to be Ant's pet project for Jermar Jefferson, so I'm going to hand over to him. Ant.
All right, thanks for that, Matt. So we're going to take a look at Jermar Jefferson today. We're going sort of from our 7th round picks and working our way down to Penny Sewell in a few weeks. So this is our first time ever doing sort of tape breakdown analysis. I apologize, this isn't going to be sort of Madden-esque where we've got all the little diagrams up on the screen and everything that can show you exactly what we're trying to put forward, but I think we've got a good thing going here, and if you just bear with us as we sort of go along, and we should iron out any kinks that we've got trying to do this. So, Jermar Jefferson, he's had quite a lot of sort of play time in the Roar of the Lions recently, mainly due to me because I do quite like him. There's a blog about him up on our website at the minute, which I did, just stating about him, just going through his game, etc. If you want to read that, and I appreciate everyone who has so far, because I think it's had about 40 reads so far, which is a lot for the blog for my articles anyhow. So anyone who has read it, do appreciate that, and look forward to going through in depth with you a bit more. So the tape that we're going to be using today is from the Oregon State Beavers game against California at the back end of last year. This is quite a good game for him, actually, and the tape, actually, as Matt said, this is really good. It gives us quite a big breakdown of his game, areas where he's good at, areas where he needs to improve, how he's going to fit in schematically with the Lions, what we need him to do there. So, yeah, as I say, hopefully you enjoy this as we go along, and we'll get through to it. I'm just going to start off by giving a little rundown about Jermar Jefferson, his college history, everything like that, and then we'll crack on with the tape and we'll get to it. So Jefferson, he's 21 years old, 5'10", weighs roughly about 210 pounds. He spent 3 years with Oregon State playing 27 games, 21 of which were starts. In that time, he had 514 rushing attempts, compiled 2,923 rushing yards at an average of 5.7 per carry, which is not bad, and got 27 rushing touchdowns. In the passing game, he's not as effective there, really, but he wasn't used a lot of the time as well. He got 43 receptions for 299 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jefferson's 2020, it was really short. only 6 games, obviously because of COVID, it affected the college games in many ways. So 6 games, but I mean, he had a really good year. He rushed for 858 yards all front. In those 6 games, 5 of them were 100 yards plus. There was just one game against Stanford where he rushed for 82 yards. But apart from that, you got 103 versus Arizona State, 226 against Oregon in the Oregon Derby, which is where I first saw him last November. Great game that was. 133 versus Washington and 120 versus Washington State. And in this particular game that we're going to look at Cal now, he rushed for 196 yards. So he had a pretty good game there. And he finished off the year. He got a bunch of awards. Co-Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year as voted by the Associated Press. He was the 2020 Associated Press and Coaches All Pac-12 First Team, and he was Offensive Player of the Week twice, again in only 6 weeks, which isn't bad. So that's sort of the lowdown on Jermar, what he did at college, and we'll move on now to the tape. So whilst having a look through this, what we're going to do, we're just going to look through the plays straight through for one go, and then I'm going to go back and then I'm going to break it down in the little areas that I feel need to be mentioned, areas of his game that I've seen, bits that need highlighting. So what we're looking for, I'll go through his strengths and weaknesses just to show you what we're looking for, where he needs to improve. So the strengths with Jermar Jefferson, I mean, his vision is absolutely amazing. The ability to see gaps in the line, exploit them, it's absolutely second to none. And with some of his weaknesses that we're going to go through as well, that's something he really does need. His agility, again, really good to be able to get through those short gaps through crowded defensive lines. His agility is really good, and his burst speed is as well. As I say, once he finds a hole and he's got some space to get through it, he's gone. But the weaknesses, and we will see a few examples of this, and this is why he was down as a 7th-round pick. It's his strength. He's not the tallest guy in the world. He's only 5'10". He's not the leanest guy. So there are a lot of examples you'll see of him being brought down by single contact or unable to shake off tackles that maybe bigger backs would. But I mean, this is what you'll get with a 7th-round pick. There are good aspects to his game. There are a lot of aspects that need working on, but I do believe there is a player in here. So, right, we'll start with the tape. So this is right at the start of the Beavers Cal game. This is the very first play, and this is probably one of the best plays on here. So we'll just go through it now, let you have a little look. It's a running play, first play of the game. They're going to hand it off to Jefferson here.
It is not streaming the best, I will say, man.
Is it now?
No, I think that's not going to work. Right. If you stop
Slow.
screen sharing, I'll run it through here.
Was it running slow or?
No, you can't really see it. It's very joggy. So let's stop that, and I'll bring up.
Oh, great. Sorry about that.
Okay, so I've got the first play up here, so I'll play this through.
Can I see? I can't see it. Are you screen sharing?
Yes, you'll need to see it, of course. Okay, here we go.
Oh, it's a lot clearer on yours. So yeah, this is the very first play of the game. It's a running play. Is that running fine on yours? Because it's juddering on mine.
Ran fine on mine, and it looks like it's coming through fine on the recording, but it's jittery for you.
That's fine. We can do it. We'll do it.
Okay, so now we've got the vertical angle.
Yeah. Well, I'll look at it through this, and then we'll go back to the start, and then I'll do the bit of it.
Oh yeah. And takes it to the house, first play of the game. Awesome. Okay.
It does. Right. So this play, this is one of the two plays I actually used in my blog article about Jermar Jefferson. This is to highlight his vision and his burst speed, and this is what he needs because he doesn't have the outright elite pace of some of the backs in the league. And as I say, with his size, he needs to try and avoid contact. So, as you can see at the start of the play, the handoff is there. Can you roll it through in slow, Matt? Like in a slower? So I can.
Playback speed slower.
Yeah.
That's
fine. So as you can see, when he's approaching the line of scrimmage, he's looking for the gaps where they are. He gets the ball. He can see right on the where the right guard is. There's a big gap that's appeared, which he takes through the line of scrimmage. And then if you just look to the right-hand side, the tight end has absolutely mauled his assignment there, and he's pushing him into the backfield. Oh, have you got the slow one? Lovely. So yeah, here he is. Takes the handoff. Nice little stutter step to find the gap that's appeared just where the centre was beforehand. And if you look on the right-hand side, number 84, that tight end is absolutely mauling his assignment there. So if you just push it forward a bit, he cuts inside and then he follows that block. Now, what a running back would do, if you just stop it there, Matt. Just at this point, you can see he's right in behind that block there. A lot of running backs would see the gap on the left-hand side and they'd just go for it straight away if they weren't looking properly about what was going on. But if you can just see behind 84, there's a cover safety there who's in that open field. And if he'd have gone early, that guy's going to come across and cut the play off straight away. But what he does, which is very clever, he gets in behind this tight end block and he stays there. And so as a result, the cover safety can't move and he ends up getting double stacked onto this block, which it takes him out the play completely. And then as soon as that happens, Jermar hits that open space and he's gone. You're not catching him when that's happened. And that's just a really good example of how he's looking at the field. He's seen the gap open up on the line of scrimmage. He's taken the gap. He's seen the block, which has occurred on the right-hand side. He's got in behind and he's waited for the cover defender to be taken out by that block. And then he's gone. For me, that's an outstanding example of his vision, what he brings to the game. And that's where his that's where his strengths really lie, because as I say, there are other aspects of his game which just sort of bring him down in that regard. If you want to take it forward to the next one.
Yeah, have done. Okay, go through that now.
Yep.
Okay,
Just
here
want
we
to
go.
run the play again. So I'll go through it as we do. So as I was saying, his frame's not the biggest in the world, and tackle-wise, it is quite easy to bring him down. He needs space to work with, and here is an example of what happens when he does get got out early. I'll just let the play run. So obviously, got another run play just about to come up here. Handoff's there. He's brought down by the legs. He just doesn't have sort of the elite speed to get really round the outside, and as soon as the guy gets him, he's going down, and unfortunately, doesn't really make much of a gain there. And that is, as I say, the big weakness in his game and why he is a 7th round pick. But the thing is, he just requires, once he is able to get into the space and make the most of it, then he's very dangerous when it comes to that. But as you're going to see, this offensive line that he was playing behind last year was really, really bad. And a lot of the time, it's just responsible for what happens to him. So if you just want to run through again, just really quickly.
Yeah, super slow, coming through now.
Yeah. So you can see there's a double team on the outside there, 84 and 67, trying to double team him up. Guard in the centre. They've also got a double team, but he's just shaken off. You see number 84 there. He gets shaken straight off the ball, and Jefferson doesn't stand a chance. It's almost like he's not trying to block. It's a really poor effort there from the offensive lineman. If he could have just held him a bit longer, then Jermar could have got to the outside and there could have been a significant gain on the table. So you sort of have to counterbalance the prospects here. One, yes, he did get taken down very easily, but his offensive line didn't help him get into that space, which makes him so dangerous. You can roll it on to the next one now.
Yeah. Do you think that's an example of bad line play, or do you think a better running back would be able to kind of maybe duke out of that?
See, that's the thing. I'm trying to keep it sort of in context here. Yes, there could be better running back play there. Like I say, his frame, it's quite short. He gets tackled far too easily in that aspect. But, all he needs is just a little, another step or two, and he avoids that tackle completely. And
Yeah.
the lineman just does get completely dominated on that play. And as you'll see as the game goes on, there are lots more. If it was maybe a one-off, I'd be more inclined to believe that it was more of a running back issue. But for here, the line is pretty poor. So
Yeah.
anyway, we'll move on to the next one. This is
Okay.
going to be a run. This is going to be another running play. And what you're going to see here, you're going to see an example again of him and he's using his vision to find the gap. But there is going to be another bad line play here, which is going to let him down. So we'll let the play run through and then we'll analyze it just a little bit more. So takes the handoff, gaps there, but as you say, gets brought down pretty quickly. But it helps to see it a bit more from this view here. I do like these back end views. You don't really get to see them all the time, but they give a little bit more context to the plays because there it looks like he's been stuffed quite easily. You see the handoffs there, he goes through, but the linemen are dominated again, and he's brought down before he can even get past the line of scrimmage. Just want to play that one in a bit of a slower format, and we can just see how that play develops.
There seems to be a gap that opens up very quickly.
Yeah,
And then
there is
shuts.
a little gap there, and he sees it, but the second he gets to it, it's gone because the
Okay, so he
linemen
gets the
aren't able
ball
to
there.
keep it up. So you've got the handoff. He sees the gap. He sort of steps back into it. And
So from
like I
here,
say,
it doesn't look like there's any bad line play at this moment.
I don't know. The blocking's not there though, and that's the thing. It's the gap is open, but they need to give him time to operate. And it's just see the steps there. Look on the left. The runner's coming through. He's bent over. He's lost him. He's lost the battle with him. And you can see with the other guys as well, they're pushing into his route. They're not able to keep that route open. Now, again, let's look at the guy flying across for him here. You've got two of them who've just broken through, and they're just going to absolutely sandwich him. Look, the gap is there for him to go into, and he's seen it, but he's just not been given the help required to do so.
Yeah, that gets
which is a shame, but yeah. And I don't think there's much you can do in that situation. Even a big back could be brought down by a double team like that. And again, it's a shame. So I think that's more on the offensive line there for me, but we'll see. And then we're going to see a third example here.
Okay, so third and 4 at this point.
We're at 3rd and 4. They're running it, but he's going to get absolutely demolished here at the line of scrimmage again. And again, it's sort of part of those. Is it his frame? Yes. Is it offensive line play that's hindering him? Also, yes. But we'll run the play through, and then we'll see it from. As you can see, look at that. He's not even made the line, and he's got two guys just clean on him. If you want to run it slow from this, I think we can run it slow from this one straight away.
Okay.
If you want to, and then
we should be at the snap now, so
we can just see how the line completely collapses here and just gives him absolutely no opportunity to do what he does. So
I think I count 3 one-on-one losses there.
Yeah. There's just absolutely no chance. I don't know what he's expected to do in this situation. So, yeah, look at all the lines, look at all the one-on-ones, and this California D-line are just absolutely dominating.
It's shocking. So I think I've stopped it half a second into the play, and I can count this guy, and this guy all winning their reps against the Oregon State O-line.
And this is just one of the things I wanted to highlight about it. As you're watching these plays and you're seeing him get stuffed all the time, and you're thinking, oh, God, really? Have we got anything as a back here? But if I take you back to the numbers he got this year, 860 yards in 6 games behind this offensive line, this just highlights how clever he is because he has to be. He has to have the elite level vision to try and find these pockets and the speed to get away from these defensive linemen who are just constantly harassing him before he can even reach the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
So for me, this is just, it's just a big tick that it's maybe hidden just how good he is because he's not been able to do it on a consistent basis, get these runs out, because he just doesn't have the room or the opportunity to. But the more you look at this play, the worse it gets.
But not for Jefferson, though, actually. Looking at this, so you've got your linemen up front who are actually winning, but the one who actually ends up making the tackle is the right end, who's matched up against the tight end, and he's not lost the rep at this point. So if I roll this through a little bit longer, Jefferson sees the two guys that have won up front and actually jukes them very well straight into the right end, where the tight end has completely lost his rep, which is the second time that he's whiffed. Because that status up there, he's beaten the two guys who've actually won on the line.
Yeah. And again, that's the thing. This just shows his short agility is amazing, because I think he's that used to having to deal with these guys getting at him so quick. But if they can just give him the opportunity to get through, he'll take it.
Yeah.
But as we saw there, he's got absolutely no chance whatsoever. Now this one, this may be a bit of a more of a complicated one, but I actually saw this when I was first doing my research on him. There was a guy who analysed this play, and it's actually really good what it does. So if you just want to run this one through at full speed, 'cause at first it doesn't look like he has much of an effect on this play. So this is going to be a pass play for a touchdown, and Jefferson's not actually going to get used at all. But the eagle-eyed amongst you may spot this right away, you may not, but we'll just run the play and see how it is. It's actually a nice throw as well. So it's the fake handoff.
Oh, it's our friend, the tight end.
And it's the tight end who, he had that really first good rep when Jermar scored and did that. And then he had this lovely touchdown throw. But a lot of the rest of his game remains to be desired. So you can run this through one as well if you want, just to have a little look. So obviously you get the fake handoff. A couple of guys do bite on it, which is what I'm going to go through in a minute. Obviously, as I say, it doesn't look like he's had much of an effect on this play. He runs out wide. He tries to do a passing route if he's needed, but in the end, it's a really good throw, and the guy's got a yard on his man, and it goes for a touchdown. Now, if you want to go back to the start of this, so Jefferson may not have a physical part in this play, but what he does do, and this is what is known as, I believe, the hockey assist in a game. His influence on this game influences how this play goes. So if you want to go back to the first one, the field side view, Matt, and if you want to run this through in slow-mo from the start, and then we'll...
Here we go.
On it, right. So if we're running this through, so if you have a look, the fake handoff, now you see the tight end on the right-hand side. Look at the two offensive linemen by the 30-yard line, just on top of it there, the two in the secondary. So the snap's played, and look, they bite. They think that because the handoffs go in the fake handoff, they think it's coming to Jefferson. And because of that first play in the game, when he got into free space, he was gone. All these plays, you've seen them get into him at the line of scrimmage, so he doesn't have space to use. They're getting at him quick. And here, they're premeditating that they're going to run it. And these two guys, if you go back to the original play again, the long field view.
So you're talking about the two guys on the defense on the left-hand side? The left end and the left tackle?
The two in the middle, yeah. No, in the secondary.
Right.
On the 30-yard line.
Okay, right.
Two guys in the middle. So
okay.
If you watch the two guys in the middle, one of them's going to end up marking this tight end here. So if you just roll the play through slowly, watch how they both come across and they take a step forward thinking Jefferson's going to get the ball. They're that eager to get at him before he gets through the line of scrimmage that they both bite on it.
Yeah.
And look at the tight end. They both bite. There you go. Stop. And then all of a sudden, this guy, oh shit, I've not got my assignment. The tight end gets a couple of yards on him, is free open for the throw, and in it goes. And that's as an indirect result of Jefferson's effect on this game. They're wanting to get at him before the line of scrimmage because they know what he'll do if he gets into that space. And as a result, the tight end sneaks in behind, gets the touchdown. So that's a really nice piece of play there. It's not just the physical effect you have on the game, it's the mental one as well. You've got the defenders watching you, wanting to bring you down, forgetting their other assigned duties in the game. So for there, that's a really good point for me for what he does. So, yeah, right. Okay, lovely. We'll move it on.
All right.
So this is going to be a trick play. It's pass play. Jefferson isn't used, but he does the job nicely enough. Doesn't really go for many yards, but I think in our scheme this year, I think we're going to be mixing up the plays a little bit, and you'll need bits like this, the fake handoffs, the little shovel passes, etc. There's not really much to go through on this one. He does his part in it fine, and they do get it for a few yards. You notice a couple of guys do bite on this again, thinking that it's going to go to him. But then the blocking on the outside is atrocious. I think the blocking in general from Oregon State is pretty poor, so you're not going to see a lot going on there.
So next play.
Next one, we're going to see another run play here. Again, Jermar Jefferson's going to get stuffed, and if you pay special attention to the right guard here, who gets himself well and truly manhandled to shut this play down. As you see, Jefferson likes to line up quite far back in the backfield. I think this is to allow him to build up a head of steam and exploit these gaps because, as I say, he's very good with his vision. If you give him that space, he'll find the gaps and he'll build up a head of steam and he'll be gone, which is why he lines up quite far back these times. Watch the right guard here.
So right guard.
You're looking at the right guard, just next to just on the right hand side of 54 here.
And he gets manhandled by the nose, doesn't he?
Yeah, he gets absolutely manhandled by the nose, who then takes Jefferson down. Or is it 54? I think it's the nose. But again, the gaps. There was a gap there at one stage, but again, the offensive linemen, just both of them, absolutely manhandled. And again, he's not able to really do much there, but it's not for a lack of trying.
Yeah.
We'll move on to the next one.
Okay.
And again, we're going to see another example of maybe a bit of both here. This is bad O-line play. He gets taken down in the backfield here.
Oh, yeah.
Handoffs there. And the guy, if you watch here, the guy on the bottom, he just gets a free run at him. No one even tries to block him. He comes right round the outside. If you want to play from the field view again.
Yeah, it's by design, isn't it? He just doesn't he doesn't get the step.
So you're going to look at the guy on the top here, number 19. He just comes straight through, and before he's even got it, he's right behind him, and he takes him down. That's not Jermar Jefferson's fault there. That's just a simple, no one's blocking, and he gets taken down in the backfield, and there's not a lot. And again, with his frame, he's not able to fight out of tackles like that. But
yeah, I do wonder if that's an issue with play design as much as anything, because if you're going to make that play work and leave that left end uncovered, you've got to have the explosion to be able to get away from him. So that means, because if I take this back, actually, I just noticed it here. Jefferson stutters just before starting his run. If his release is a bit smoother, I think he might actually be able to beat him. So if I run this through again, he kind of does a little hop just before he starts running. If he can just release more smoothly into his running rhythm.
Yep.
Anyway.
I do agree. There are, with a few of these, there are issues on both sides. Maybe he doesn't have the elite speed, but he still has a good burst. But again, when a guy isn't blocked, and he's really quick, that end, he just gets at him before he's even able to go. So we'll move this on. This is the first example we're going to see of a bit of pass protection from him now. He's going to go and help out the left tackle. The left tackle's getting absolutely mauled on this play. It's maybe not the best example you're going to see of pass protection because he has to go around the outside to try and help, but he does enough. He gets a little stiff arm for his trouble, but the QB is able to get the pass away, and that's one of the things that Jermar Jefferson is going to have to do well if he's going to make this team, because he's going to be the running back 3 if he does, and he's going to have to replace Kerryon Johnson, whose primary role was pass blocking, and he was damn good at it. But there are examples in here of good pass protection play from him, and I believe he will, with training, be able to be sufficient in that area because he's, as I say, he's going to need it. You'll see him go on the outside. Left tackle gets absolutely mauled. He goes in, gives him a hand to say, gets a little stiff arm for his trouble. The throw's away, but throws a bad one. This isn't a very good QB they've got here.
All right, so 1st and 10, 3 points down in the second quarter. So 4-minute drill at this point.
Yeah, and you're going to see another example of him getting stuffed, and you're going to see another example of the right guard getting absolutely trashed. So if you want to run this one through again, and then we'll see it from the back view. I mean, it's amazing just how many times these guys just get absolutely destroyed. You see the right guard there; he's just pushed onto the outside. The guy sort of comes back in and takes Jefferson down. He just doesn't really have a chance with it. If you want to run this through a bit slower, and you'll see there, the guy who's just behind the goalpost, you'll be wanting to focus on for this one. Because you see they'll shift left, and there he goes. He gets him. He just pushes him to the side, and then he's got Jefferson. Down he goes.
Just gets swallowed a bit, doesn't he? There's nothing he can do about that.
No, and there's just so many examples of this there, which again just makes how he got so much yards this year even all the more impressive, because this is what he's had to deal with at Oregon State, and this is why it may just have kept him under the radar a bit, because you can't showcase your talents when you're getting taken down so often.
No. Okay, so 3rd and long in the 4-minute offense.
You're going to see a pass play here, first time, short yardage one. You're going to see him struggle with one-on-ones here. This is the other aspect of the game which is going to raise some concern. It's his one-on-ones, his ability to win those. Again, his frame is not the biggest, and he has trouble with this, but we'll see the playthrough.
That's a really odd play.
It is. You say he just gets taken down for bound. There is a flag on the play. I think there is a flag on Cali for this one, but if you're looking at the play as a whole, his ability to be able to take receptions, get yards, it's not the best example there. And again, he's brought down very easily, but he's got no blocking there either, really, to help him. You'll see with his passing plays, he's primarily a screen guy. He is quite good at getting out, offering the screen option, getting into some open space, making some gains, which is primarily probably how it would be used with the Lions if he is.
Just want to bring this back to this view, because I think this isn't a point on Jermar, but I think this is a screen pass that is just busted because the O-line don't get out quick enough.
Yeah. This is
I'll
where
run this through slowly.
This is where he excels in the passing game. He will get out quickly for the screens.
All 3 O-linemen are looking that way as if they know that's where the ball's going, but they just...
He's swallowed, yeah. There's no tight end out there blocking. There's no lineman out there blocking. But what Jermar's able to do is break that first tackle as he goes through with the defensive lineman and get in some space. And Jared Goff's going to want guys like that this year, guys who can get into space, especially on the screen passes, quick release, get it out, get some yardage if he's under pressure. He's going to appreciate guys like that. But again, this is just an example. We're going to have a much better offensive line in Detroit. Just imagine some of these plays with our line holding these guys up, making some room for him. I think pretty much that's a face mask as well. I think that's what the flag's for. I'm pretty sure it is, but we'll move on from that. We'll see a few more of those anyhow. Next one's a pass play. He gets open again on the screen, but he's not used this time. But another example of him being able to find space. He'll go out, he'll look for the space because that's where he's at his most dangerous. If he can just get a few yards to get going, he can make defenders miss. He's quite good at that. You see him there, he's out, he's loads of space, but his quarterback uses someone else instead. And it is actually one of a few good passes you'll see from him in this, but there aren't many.
I guess he's got a one-on-one here, and if he had better... If he wasn't taken down so easily, perhaps in one-on-ones, that's a definite option.
A bit more.
Yeah.
It depends on what sort of scheme they use here. A lot of guys are just, they might just not use that if they can. This quarterback loves to go downfield. He's always looking up, trying to throw the deep ball, and a lot of times he'll fail on that. Hang on, just let me get to my next one. 8:20. Yeah, this is the same again, really. It's a pass play. He gets open to the side, and again, he's not used, and the quarterback doesn't make a good play on this one. I think his name's Tristan Gebbia, the quarterback for this, and you're not really going to be hearing about him in circles for the Lions if they don't do well this year and they need to replace Jared Goff. But yeah, if you've just seen examples of him getting into space, providing an option for his quarterback, yeah, he's picked, and it goes back for a long return. But he had the option there. Instead of doing the dangerous pass downfield, he had the screen option to get some yardage, and he just chooses not to use him. So when looking at Jefferson and his low usage in the passing game, this can go some way to explaining it. He does get open a lot of the time, and he's just not used. And you'll see a few downfield examples of that later.
Okay, so we're now into the second half.
Yep. Beavers are sort of slightly behind for a lot of this game and then take the lead at the end, but it is a good game to watch, all told.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is going to be another trick play, fake handoff. Again, you'll see people bite on it. They seem to be quite good with these trick plays, and again, they're wary about what Jefferson can do if they give him room. So the trick play will come, they'll bite on it, and it gives the QB time to throw. There's that one guy there chasing down, but the QB has more than enough time to get that throw away there. The play is actually quite successful from that standpoint. Most people bite on Jefferson. You'll see a lot of them shift right here, and there's just the one guy who's far too far away to have an impact on this game. You'll see him 32 there. Loads of time for the quarterback to get his throw away, and even he makes that throw. But I think we're going to see a lot of packages like this with the Lions this year. The trick plays, the shovel passes, the screen passes, etc. So you want a guy who can contribute to that aspect, and this is what they did here. So he's going to be able to do so. Right, you can roll the next one. It's pretty easy. This is another pass play. Again, you'll see an example of him getting open and not being used, and the play, it just ends up being an incomplete throw. It's a shame. You think maybe, given his volume of usage, you would use him, but I mean, look there, he's in acres of space. You get that out to him, and he can get to the outside. You're going to get a big yardage there, but Gebbia's looking straight downfield, looking for the Hollywood pass.
Yeah, Jermar was in a lot of space here.
He was on an awful lot of space, but Gebbia's eyes are instantly looking for the Hollywood pass downfield. But you see there's no one within 20 yards of him, and a guy with his agility and burst, you're going to find it very hard to catch him there. You're going to be making 30, 40 yards minimum, and he was just ignored, but it's a shame.
Okay, this next one.
We're going to see another run play here. You're going to see good speed, good acceleration from him, but he's just simply got nowhere to go. The line doesn't open up any gaps for him, and he's just going to get swallowed up again. And again, as you can see, you can probably see a little bit of a theme developing here. He's got good speed. He's looking for the gap there to try and get to the outside. There's nothing, and he has to run it out of play. But he gets to the outside fairly quickly. If there's a few more blocks in there and a bit of room, again, the gains are there to be made, but it also does, again, highlight his strength issues. He might be able to break that tackles if he's a bit of a bigger back.
But considering the right outside linebacker comes on a blitz and forces him outright, to actually find the edge and turn it into a small gain is a bit of a win there, I think.
Yeah, it is. Again, you're seeing highlights of that burst speed and his agility, but you're also seeing some examples of his strength. Again, he could have maybe made a few more yards had he weighed a little bit more. Right, now, so we're going to see a couple of instances of pass protection. Now, this is a really good one. You're going to see him go up to help the center. He's going to help the center double team a guy, but then he's going to bounce off and he's going to absolutely pancake the linebacker who's running through from the back. I do really like this play. And again, this is where he's going to have to. So look, double team, comes straight across, guy's pancaked. That's a really lovely play for me, and that's something he's going to need to do a lot of with the Lions if he wants to get on the team. So if you see it slow here, he's going to go up and he's going to help the center. And then as soon as the defender's momentum is halted, he immediately moves on to his second assignment, and he's getting nowhere near the quarterback. This is a really good play. Look, double teams up, 54 goes around the edge. He's straight on him, bang, down.
That's just good play.
For a guy his size, and this is where his size can actually work for him, because he can get underneath defenders. The ability to get underneath them and force them up and to slow them down. This is what really works for him. And like I say, that's a really good example there. Straight on a double team, straight on a single assignment, wins them both. Love that. And hopefully we'll see a lot more of that. If he does that in training, they're going to love him. Right, we're going to see another example of pass protection here. So he's going to pull out to the area just to the side of the left tackle. And here he has a specific, I think, an assignment just to go out that side and make sure no one gets through to the quarterback and no one eventually comes. He goes out, he stops, he's covering his area, the throw's away, and it's done. It's just a good example of good protection. He's got the assignment. He's been told to go out there because you can see there is a guy who's sort of hovering in the backfield. I think it's 54. And
Yeah.
54 is like, yeah, I'm not going round because there's a guy there. If he had a free run at him, he may have done otherwise. But the only criticism I might have of that play is can he turn around, see if his quarterback's in trouble and offer him a bit of a passing option because he is in a bit of space. But I'm not going to nitpick there. He's been given a pass protection assignment. And again, he's done well with it. And that's one of the things, as I say, again, he's really going to have to excel with. So now we're going to go. This is a run play. He's going to run up the gut. You're going to see number 54 on the defense when we see the back view is just going to be given a straight shot at him to bring him down. Yeah, there's so many plays in this game where Jefferson just doesn't have a chance. He gets it, up he goes, brought down. But as you'll see from the back play, watch 54. He's allowed a free rein at this to go and get him. No one picks him up whatsoever. And again, he's just got no chance of making yardage. Look at that. Through he goes, behind him, brings him down. It's really, really poor. And I feel sorry for him having to do that. And then we've got another couple of runs coming up again where he's going to get stuffed. So on this first one, you're going to see the gap open up. He's going to spot the gap and he's going to go for it, but it's going to close just as soon as it's open because, again, this line is just not keeping them open for him whatsoever. Display gaps there. It shuts. Two guys on him. Play's going nowhere. But as you'll see from the back, there is a pretty sizable gap there to start with, which he sees. And I know people are going, oh, God, well, why are we just showing loads of examples of him getting stuff? But we're trying to show just how he sees the play. Behind a better offensive line, he will make advantage of it. There's the gap. He's going for it. But before you know it, he's swallowed up. Both linemen lose their men, and they just absolutely stuff him in that gap. And again, it's a shame. A better line play there, and he's hit a gap and he's gone. As you saw in the first example, if he's given the room to do so, he will utilize it. And then in this second one, this is even worse. So he's going to try and go down the right-hand side if you want to run it through.
A third and short.
Yeah, we're on a third and short. Just trying to get the hard yards here, which he is actually quite good at when he gets the chance to. But you're focusing on the right tackle and the right guard. Right tackle gives up on this play straight away. He's not even bothered. The right guard's beat him pretty easily, and they don't convert. So they have to settle for a field goal. But again, when you look at it from the back view, this is just even worse. Focus on the right tackle and the right guard. Right tackle, just meh. I don't care. One little bit of contact, and he just doesn't even try to stop that play. And the right guard, again, gets mauled. This right guard has an atrocious game. I don't know who he is, but he ain't ever featuring in the NFL. I know that much.
So they don't convert, but this is fourth down now, 4th and 1.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. That was a different part of the game I was thinking of. So where were we? Before we can get through right tackle. It's a quarterback sneak. You can just play this through. Because they're on 4th on 1, they go for a quarterback sneak. He's not involved in this. This is one of 2 plays in here where he's not involved. The rest of it does involve him.
Quarterback got 4 yards on a sneak.
Yeah. The quarterback's
maybe.
actually quite good at the quarterback sneak, actually. There are a few examples of it in here.
Okay, 1st and 10.
Quarterback sneak. So this is going to be a shovel pass. So shovel pass is going to be played to him. You're going to see him find the gap again, but you're going to be looking at, I can't remember which one it is. We'll look from the back, but there's one of the guys at the top. He'll beat a double team of the Oregon State guys outside, and he'll just get a run straight at him and take him down. But again, Jefferson gets the handoff. He finds the gap, but it's just a lack of blocking, which is really hurting him. So I think we're looking at 19. It's either 19 or 26. Focus on them. They will get double teamed. and they'll bounce straight off it, straight into Jermar's path and take him down. But that's not for one of Jermar trying, or is it 8? It's one of them. You can see, if you go back to the main field play to start it again, you'll see it up at the top. There's going to be a double team. You see the 3 Oregon State guys there, 84 and 87. It's double teamed. He bounces off, takes him down. I mean, the guys are all running forward like they're protecting him, but they've let the guy go towards the runner. It's like, don't go down the field, start trying to block if he's not even going to make it through.
I think Jermar makes a really bad decision actually here. If I take this back,
he could go outside. He could go outside here.
Yeah, that's where all of his runners are actually going. His blockers are going that way, so he cuts inside. If I try and stop it at the right moment. So there.
You'll see it here, and then you'll see. But if you look, the gap's going to come through the middle there. They think he thinks he's going to push him to the outside, so he comes inside. But look at how that tackle just ragdolls the defender off and comes back inside. I mean, that's a 2-on-1, and they just both give up on it. I think there is a gap going to the outside after that, which he takes if he's given the opportunity to, but he's not expecting that double team to fall apart. For me, again, it's just another really poor example of blocking for him here.
Sorry, I'm just going to run this through.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right.
We'll move it on to the next one. Where's the shuffle pass?
So 2nd and 7.
So 2nd and 7. Again, another run play. You're going to focus on number... Where are we? When we go to the second play, you just run it through. This is another... He gets stuffed again. But this is another example of the line letting him down. You'll be watching number 55 and number 3 when it gets to the backfield view. Number 55 blitzes straight through where the center is, sort of gets at him in the backfield, which slows him down, and then 3 just gets an unimpeded run straight at him, brings him straight down. So he goes into the backfield there, handoff, 55 gets at him, and you just see he gets absolutely swallowed.
It's a shame because the blitzer doesn't actually get there, but forces him into the up path of the other defender who's won the rep, whereas actually there's space on the left-hand side. If they pick the blitzer up, he's going to make a big gain on that left-hand side.
Yeah, and that's what all these examples are here to show. It's not just to show him getting stuffed, it's to show that he's got the intelligence to find these gaps and to know where he's going. He's just getting let down on these plays by his linemen who are not blocking for him in the slightest. But in terms of his play, it bodes very well for what we're getting as a player. I'll move this on.
All right, so 3rd and 4, 3rd and medium.
3rd and 4th, you're going to see a pass play here. Now, this is going to be an example of him trying to get downfield, but he doesn't run a good route and he can't beat off his coverage defender. And these are the issues he's going to have to iron out. He needs to do a lot better on this play. His passing game does need work, but I don't think he's going to be in there for that to start with. You see, you can't shake his guy off there. The route's pretty poor, but we are going to see an example right after this that he can do it, a much better one. We'll wait, just let this one run through. It's a bit of a shame, but again, he just can't make it out with some of these better defensive ends, these bigger guys. They'll just be all over him if they get hands on him.
So at this point, they've gone ahead.
Yeah, they've gone ahead for the first time in the game. So this is going to be a fake handoff on the pass play, but this is a much better route. He beats his man and he'll get free, but he's not going to be used. But it's a much better example, which puts to ease some of the concerns you've seen from the previous one. He can get free downfield and he can find the gaps to do so, but this quarterback doesn't use him. So through he goes. He's beating his man, but his QB's already decided where he's going. But there was an opportunity there to get some good yardage with him. And it's just seeing what he can do. He's not getting utilized, but you see in his mind he is capable of being able to do this. So I do think this is a plus point for him here. He's gone, little nice gap through the middle, gets a step on his man, and he's gone. And again, the throw's not the best in the world, but they do get it. And
all right.
Got first down here. This is going to be another run play. And again, this is an example. He's forced wide into a tackle. You will see him about to hit a gap. Again, he's seen it and he's about to go through, but he'll be forced into a tackle and he gets stuffed and there ends up in no yardage gain because of it. But again, you're looking at what he's seeing and all the signs are good. He's not, a lot of these situations he's getting into are not through no fault of his own. So you'll see him pick it up and you'll see one of the defenders come through and force him straight into the arms of one of their fellow defenders. There you go. You see him come across and he's just, you can see it a little bit better from this angle. You see the guy come across from the right, force him out wide, straight into the arms. I think it's 50. Is it not 54? There you go.
20.
There is a little gap. There is a little gap there, but you can see he just has to take a yard or two outside to try and avoid the tackle, and he can't make the play. This next one, you're going to see another example of a pass play. Again, he's going to find the gap to get into the space, but again, he's not going to be used. And the throw on this one, again, is really poor, but you're looking at his ability to get into space, to make himself available to the quarterback. He's gone. He's got a good amount of space in the field there, but the quarterback just gets picked again, and it looks even worse with the throw from the backfield view when we get it.
Weird play design as well, because the whole offensive line ends up on the left-hand side where Jermar is.
Yeah, whereas he rolls out to the right. So if you're looking at Jermar, again, he sees the gap, he's through, he's in loads of space, and then he just tosses it up in the air into four defenders, and it comes back. And this goes some way to explain again why Jermar's pass numbers aren't that great. He's not working with a high-level caliber quarterback there, as you can see. There's a lot of bad examples of him, and it's just does not get used. Right, we've got to see a pass protection example now. But
so
this
back behind again.
The back behind, and this is not going to be a good example. He gets his foot in wrong. He's going to go and try and double team to help out. He gets his foot in wrong. He can't help his guard. His guard's getting absolutely mauled. So this is an example he does need to improve a bit. You see him go. His footing is not right, and he sort of gets through. The quarterback has to throw it away.
I wonder on this one.
For me, if you watch he just overshoots it a little bit. And he sort of then is on his back and he can't generate the power to stop the rusher going forward. You just see there, for me, his footing's just a little bit off and he just doesn't get into the tackle right. Obviously, he's going to help out there and you've seen how he can do it, but he just gets his feet a little wrong.
Is it your impression that he is actually in pass protection there after the fake, or do you think that he's actually going... Because part of me thinks the way he kind of overshoots and then realises, oh crap, is I think he's meant to be kind of providing a receiving option here, and he sees his man getting beat and kind of tries to transition into pass protection maybe as a kind of late decision. I don't know.
You could be right. That was not something I'd really stopped to consider, but
I kind of feel like he might kind of...
If you're here, then yes, you're thinking maybe he is. He's seen that there's no room really there, and he's seen that his guard's in trouble.
So part of me thinks that maybe he's just kind of going to provide an option in the flat, and then he's kind of bailed out of it. Let's have a look again. Because his eyes are downfield. I think he's meant to be a receiving option there, and he kind of tries to make a smart play by trying to help out instead. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've seen the good examples of... I think if it is, it might just be a small mistake there, but you want to see the examples of him being good in pass protection, and we have seen that. But for me, I'm not sure. It could be one of either, but if he has overshot, it's just something he'll need to work on a little bit. But
he's trying to sell the fake too hard, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got the ability to do so. But again, this is a 7th round guy, so you're gonna have to accept that there are areas of this game where he's not gonna be there. Where am I? Pass play, pass protection. Right, so this again, another example of a pass play. You're gonna see him find the space. He gives his QB an easy out here, but the QB ends up just taking a sack. Again, it's really inexplicable. I think you'll see him go through the line and cut a route outright. He's in so much space there, and his quarterback's just not using him and gets sacked. It's just, again, why you're not using him? It's another example of him getting into space, giving his QB an easy out. And there are plenty of examples of this. And on a better team with a better quarterback, a quarterback is going to appreciate this ability. Look there. It might not get the biggest gain in the world, but it's a nice, easy pass from you. Don't have to take the sack in that situation. You're
Yeah,
just putting your
completely
team in a
agree.
much worse. You're putting your team in a much worse situation. But this
It's
speaks
a,
for Jefferson.
Sorry, I was going to
Yeah,
say it's a good route actually run there because he just finds the soft zone, turns around, gets his hands out, and he's just available. I mean, like you say, it's not a big game, but he's made a smart play there and he's found the opening. So
exactly. And these are the there are good examples of a good all-round game here. You can find the space for these on a lot of occasions, and a quarterback's really going to appreciate that, a good one, especially someone like Goff. If he's under pressure and he wants to get rid of it early or he wants to get rid of it out wide, Jefferson's going to provide a good outlet for him if he utilizes him properly. The
hmm.
same with his pass protection. You can see good examples of pass protection in there, and these are things that Jefferson is going to need to make the team, but he does consistently show that he can. He's just getting let down by his teammates. Right. We're going to see a pass. So this is actually a little bit of both here. You're going to see a pass protection play. He's going to go up to the line of scrimmage. He's going to give a good firm block to the defender, and then he's going to get open for the pass. So he's going to do a bit of both here. And this is another play I quite like. He stops the defender dead in his tracks and then gets open for a pass, but he's not used.
Yeah,
But this
just
is again an example which will be appreciated. So if you want to run it through, you'll see him good firm hit
yeah,
on
just
the
to
defender.
say as well, 3rd and long down in the 4th quarter, halfway through. So that's the context of his play.
Yeah. And these are the hard yards you want to get. And in a situation, he would be able to get them for you. And you'll see it at the end to close out. So
Oh yeah,
big block, gets in space, turns around, looking for the quarterback for, giving him an option. For a guy with a short frame, he packs a punch, and this can't be underestimated. This is what you need as a running back 3, the ability to pass protect. If you do it as a little slower one, maybe you'll just be able to see him, a good hit. I think it's on the number 8 who's blitzing, if I remember rightly. Here he comes. He gets through the center, but boom, big hit. Out he goes. He's free for a pass, but he's not used because the quarterback has rolled out left. But that's an example of both there. His ability to pass block, his ability to get open, and he can do it in one play. And for a guy's size, that's promising. It shows he's got potential there that can be utilized.
yeah, he uses his naturally kind of smaller frame compared to the defenders to actually leverage up into the body.
And this is
It's
why
really good work.
Yeah, and this is why you see him this is why he lines up so far in the backfield at times. It's to get that running start. So when he goes into blocks, he's got momentum behind him and he leverages it and uses it to make up for his short frame, which, it's just utilizing the player, knowing his weaknesses and being able to make the most out of it. So we're going to see a run play here. You're going to see him go outside. You're going to see him have a nice cutback into the middle to find his gap, something that you've seen by now. He's really good at, and there's not really a great deal he can do about the tackle here. It's a good play. It gets them a bit closer to the goal line.
Yeah,
But
1st and 10 in the red zone, 3 points behind, so they can't turn it over.
This is a short yard agility you'll see here. He'll go out right, he'll cut in, and it's just a good tackle, to be fair. It's a good saving tackle.
Makes 2 good cuts there, actually.
Yep.
First outside, then inside.
Yep. And he gets them within striking distance of the red zone here.
Just
and that's
play
what
this
I
a
like.
bit slower.
This is what I like about him. I just like this agility because again, he's not got the elite speed. He gets a few yards on people just because of how he's able to cut and get a just get a step on somebody, which means he can still get the gains. But here, this is a good example here, and I think
So sees 54, cuts outside, then cuts inside when he sees 27, and he's so close to breaking that all the way.
Yeah, and it's a really good tackle. In fairness, that's not on the line. That's just a really good defensive tackle. Defending your red zone. They're going to run it here with him again. Now, this is sort of the best of both. Again, he's going to find the gap to go through, but he's going to get tagged on his ankle, which brings him down. If this is, the Derrick Henry, someone who's a lot stronger, he's just taking this straight across the line, but he ends up getting to the one. But still, he gets it. It's a crowded area. He finds the gap, but he just gets tagged on his ankle and brought down. Now, I mean, when you're running that fast and you get tagged, it is hard sometimes to stay upright. But for me, I feel that if he's just a little bit more of a bulky back here, it's going to affect him a little less, at least enough to get 1 yard and to get into the end zone. But it's another good end zone play. It's really crowded if you want to run it.
Yeah, just something to point out here about the protections, or the run blocking. You'll see someone, I think, come into the picture on the left-hand side. So at the moment, the tight end 84 is going to be worrying about the man in front of him 19. But all of the protections shift in the last second, and actually it creates a free man on the left-hand side, which Jefferson has to accelerate from. So if we run this through now, I hope I'm right with this. So man should be appearing now. There he is, number 3.
Yeah.
Oh, so the protection changes and the guard misses it.
Yeah. And then he gets through and you see him just get tagged there and it brings him down. Now, if that's a stronger back, he's going to carry that into the house. And that's one of the issues he has here. But in a crowded end zone, again, he finds the gaps and he gets through them. And this, if this is a short yardage situation on any other part of the field and he's got the ability to get these hard yards, and you just go see a quarterback sneak here. So you can play this one straight through. This quarterback loves to do his sneak. He gets
he's strong though.
Again.
Strong.
Yeah, he gets quite good yardage. He gets well into the end zone. Just goes straight through it. But that is as a result of Jefferson. He's got 2 good yardage carries there to get them to the 1 yard line, to allow them to sneak it over. So he's got ability in the red zone. Like I say, it's just his strength, again, that let him down a little bit. But the other aspects of his game are making up for it. For me, it's not too much of a buzzkill about him. If you can get the space, he's gone. Quarterback sneak.
So 4 points ahead with the ball, 1 minute to go. So closing time here.
Right, so these two, before we start this is obviously another aspect he's going to need. You're running your 4-minute drill here. There's so many times last year the Lions couldn't extend plays. We couldn't stay on the field. The defense got gassed, and it led to us conceding loads of points because the defenders just got tired out. And especially if we're going to be winning games this year, I don't think we're going to be winning by margins where we're going to be safe. We're going to need the 4-minute offense, and we're going to need to be able to run it effectively. So here, they're in really bad field position. And if Cal get them stuck in there and get them to use their timeouts, they're going to have the possibility of going back down the field and nicking the win off them. So what you want from your running back here is his ability to do the dirty work, to get the hard yards, to get the chains moved. And these are 2 really good examples of how he does this. So he's going to get the ball, he's going to see the gap, he's going to get through, and you're going to see from the back view, he runs sort of like a crescent route. He sort of sticks really close to the benders and he bends right through and takes it for a first down, effectively killing the game off. But this is a really good play. They're in a really difficult situation. He gets it. He runs a crescent. He gets through. Chains moved. Game over.
Oh, it's great in an obvious running situation that he can get that space. Is it good by the O-line as well here?
Yeah. You'll see he'll go to the left-hand side of the center, if I'm thinking rightly here, and he runs a crescent through. You'll see him sort of bend. He'll go in, then he'll bend out again. So the defenders have to come out to the side to grab him. But by the time they do, he's already got the yardage and it's played dead. And at this point, the game's nearly done. But he doesn't actually stop here. They're expecting a short run play or, just to see the game out. But he's actually going to take this one for a very long run. And again, this is really impressive. He gets through so many tackles here. This is probably his best run of the game and he saves it for last. This is just a lovely example of what happens if they block for him properly and he finds the gaps. So the handoff's there. Through he goes. Everyone's blocking for him. He's gone. And I mean, at this point, it didn't even really matter, but he still puts in the effort to get there. And yeah, he gets caught up.
Take a knee. Take a knee in bounds.
Yeah, I think that's just a bit of inexperience there on his part. But if you look here, this is just a lovely. Yeah, if you slow this down, this is a lovely route for him to run. The gaps are just there. The blocks are good, and he utilizes them. And this is where he's most dangerous.
That's what
behind
you
an
say about
effective
vision,
O-line.
right?
Yeah, that I mean, just look at it. I can't even see this before it's happening, and yet he knows exactly where to go, exactly where the blocks are, and this is why I hype on about it so much. People will be sick of me hearing using the word vision, but when you have his deficiencies, when you're when in contact, when you're brought down quite easy and while you don't have elite speed, you need to be one step ahead of the defenders at all opportunities. And this is what this vision allows him to do. You just see him go. He's looking, he's looking, he's looking. Where are the gaps? Where are the blocks? And he finds them before they've even developed. And this play is just wonderful. He dodges so many tackles here. There, stutter step, across, sees another block, across, gone, and just runs to the outside. It's very smart. It extends the play because they're having to chase him out there. Like I say, a little bit of inexperience at the end by not taking the knee or whatever, but he's done his job already here. And look, he makes men miss. Once you get him into space and in the backfield, he has the ability to make men miss because he's just good in short areas and, again, with his agility to make guys. So that's where you have to utilize him. But for getting a seventh round running back, what we've seen in this video, we've seen that as a running back 3, he needs to be able to pass protect. He can do that. Don't let his frame fool you. You've seen plenty of examples of him there, getting his momentum up, putting everything he has into these tackles, even doing double teams. You've seen him do tackles and then get free as a receiver. His receiving skills aren't really on show in there, but that's not for want of trying. You've seen his ability to get into the space and offer an option to his QB if he's in trouble, an option that his QB didn't take a lot of the time there. But, most importantly, you've seen his running ability. He can do the 4-minute drills, get you the hard yards, and for me, he's just got vision skills which would rival even Swift and Jamal Williams. From what I've seen with them, I think he's at that level, and that just ups his game and negates the strengths there. I know, obviously, we've seen a lot of examples of him getting stuffed and whatnot, and some are on him, but you've got to understand the situation he was in there. That was not a good line to work with, and yet he still put up the numbers he did, because when he gets free, he can just create such good chunks of yardage just because of his attributes, allowing him to get into the backfield and just go wild.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm so high on him. I mean, there's other games you can see. The Oregon State one's another really good one. You can go onto YouTube and see the highlights there. But this is what I really like about him, and I want him to be given a chance. He does what he needs for me to be a running back 3, but he offers you a lot of different things. His trick plays. Anthony Lynn's going to be sort of diving into the books this year. You see your shovel passes, your screen passes, all those sort of things just to give your offense a little bit of a different feel about it. And you've seen examples of him there of being able to use or be utilized in that sense. So, I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know
just
what you think.
inconsistency, isn't it? It's so you've seen examples where he can break it big in the run game. If the blocking's there for him, he does take advantage, and you see that he can pass protect. But then there are examples where he can do better. So just be more consistent because the ability is obviously there.
Yeah, and I think that's what you get with a 7th round pick. We were never going to see tape of a guy dominating games and having all aspects of his game good, because he wouldn't be in the 7th round if he would. But I'm with him when he said he was pissed that he got down to the 7th and didn't go sooner. You can see why in little spurts, because I think there's plenty of running backs who've gone before him who aren't as good. But I feel like, given this situation in Oregon State, you've seen the offensive line play, you've seen the caliber of quarterback play. I think that's hindered him a lot. And maybe for the Lions, it's also almost put him under the radar. Maybe we've got a little bit of a steal here. I mean, after seeing that tape, I mean, I'm guessing you're not as high on him as I am, but I mean, do you feel sort of the same? Do you think there's a guy there who's certainly going to be able to bring more than a 7th round,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, I do. There's
pedigree there?
obviously quite a few options that he's going to have to get through too, and there's going to be some cuts which happen. Running backs are obvious candidates for cuts after training camp or before training camp, so they could see a bit more competition coming in. But for the moment, with that quality, he's the obvious running back 3. He just is right now. He's got the ability to do it. He just needs to prove consistency again and again. But if he has less attention because the quarterback is actually accurate in the pass game, which Goff is, Goff is nothing but accurate when he's not pressured. So can he pass protect and keep Goff from feeling the pressure? If he can do that, then I think he's got a really good shot of making the roster.
Exactly, and and this is why people were a bit when I was so down on Todd Gurley saying I don't want him. A lot of people were like, "Huh, why? He's a good running back, etc." He's our running back 3, but with the Lions in a rebuild, the more gems we can find later in the draft, the more young players we can develop, the better it is for our rebuild. Todd Gurley's not going to be here for a long-term rebuild. His knee won't hack it. You've seen here with Jermar Jefferson, he's got a lot of potential. If you utilize it properly, you've got your running back 3, and that's just one less position you've got to worry about. And he offers this offense a lot. I mean, you think when our wide receiver core is now, gets better guys in there, we can have so many options. We're going to have a great backfield, 2 running back 1s. Jefferson, who has got a good all-round game, he just needs developing.
Yeah.
That's why I want Jefferson here and not Gurley. And hopefully now people have seen a little bit of him. We can, they can understand me a little bit better as to where I came from in regards to it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I need to bring this to a close, man. So if you've got anything more you want to say before we go.
No, that's fine. Just to anyone who's been listening and watching, just thanks very much. This is the very first one we've done, so sorry if it was a little bit.
I thought that ran smooth, man. So don't worry about that. That was great.
I don't think it was too bad. I like to think my analysis was all right, so hopefully you get a little bit out of that. And as we go on, we'll probably get better. And when I get through to McNeil in a few weeks, should have refined it all out. But
yeah,
that is Jermar Jefferson. So hopefully a few of you see him in a bit of a different light. Now this guy has got a lot of potential, and I think he's going to do well on the Lions team. So yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks, man. And thank you to everyone for watching. Thanks to Cuddy's Cut-Ups for producing that. And hopefully we'll see you this afternoon for the Derek Browns breakdown. But for now, thanks to Anne. I'm Matthew Turner. We'll see you later on this afternoon. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.